Hey guys, welcome back to Dceu. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be breaking down Black Adam. Before getting into the breakdown, make sure you have seen the movie because there are going to be some heavy spoilers ahead. Basically, I'm going to be telling you everything that happens in the movie. Anyway, now getting into it. The movie starts off with a bit of a history lesson into Kahndaq's past, specifically around the 2600 BC time period. It explains how Kahndaq was taken over by a king who wanted to forge a crown, known as the Crown of Sabac. And remember this for later on because it becomes very relevant. He enslaved the citizens of Kahndaq to dig for a mineral known as Eternium, so that he could forge this crown. A child, known as Harut, who is the son of Teth Adam, speaks out against the wrongdoings of the king and fights for Kahndaq to be free, and as a result is put to death. But before the deed could be completed, the Council of Wizards gave him the gift of the ancient gods, those being the stamina of Shu, the speed of Horus, the strength of Amun, wisdom of Zeti, power of Aten, and courage of Mehen. And these are very similar to those powers of Shazam, however they result from different gods. Although if you go through them in order, they still spell out the acronym Shazam. And if you're wondering where Shazam got his power, those gods are Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. Before the king was able to use the crown, Black Adam was able to defeat the king and the crown was hidden. However, Black Adam was also never seen again. Jumping to the present day, Kahndaq is under the control of Intergang, and as such they pull over a van who inside sit Kareem, Ishmael, Samir, and secretly Adriana Tomaz. Then Adriana's son, Eamon Tomaz, bumps into the guy who pulled over the van as a distraction. When he bumps into the Intergang agent, some comics fall out of his bag, those being Wonder Woman Volume 5 Issue 1, although it's a variant cover, so it might not be that obvious to some people, Cyborg Volume 2, Issue 4, and Batman Odyssey Volume 1, Issue 1. This is actually quite interesting to me, as these comics follow the characters that have already been introduced into the DCEU, and they may be more non-fictional in this universe, or they could simply be based on these characters, and the writers could have simply just used the characters and their skill sets to make for an interesting story. They drive the van to the middle of the desert where they believe something to be inside of a mountain. Kareem stays in the van while the rest of the crew go inside. Inside the mountain they find inscriptions that describe that the ultimate power is held inside, which they believe to be referring to the Crown of Sabac. However, in reality, this is more likely referring to Black Adam, as we will see later on. Ishmael goes missing and Samir goes to find him. However, Samir's body falls from the top of the mountain, and then Ishmael returns to Adriana, and this kind of gets the audience and Adriana a bit suspicious. They go further into the mountain, and eventually find the crown that Adriana grabs. However, at this moment, Intergang soldiers rush in and demand for it, holding Kareem, who is Adriana's brother, as a hostage. She lets them take it, but then reads out the inscription from the floor, which ends up freeing Black Adam, who was held prisoner here, which is why I believe the inscription from earlier to be referring to Black Adam. The Intergang soldiers then attempt to subdue Black Adam, but they get absolutely destroyed. This fight gives Adriana and Kareem a chance to escape. After the fight, Black Adam goes towards the van, where another Intergang agent shoots an Eternium rocket. He catches this, but it does end up hurting him a little bit, and it ends up causing him to pass out actually. And the reason this has been able to hurt him is because Eternium originates from the same magic source that Black Adam gets his powers from, that being the Rock of Eternity. Over in the United States, Amanda Waller shows Carter Hall, aka Hawkman, footage of what Black Adam has been doing, and they agree that he needs to be subdued, a task that he believes the Justice Society can do. The team consists of Maxine Hunkel, aka Cyclone. On the display here as she walks into the Justice Society headquarters, we also see that Abigail Hunkel is written, aka Red Tornado, who is actually Maxine's grandmother and was a member of the JSA in the comics. Al Rothstein, aka Atom Smasher, who inherited his powers from his uncle, who went by the same name, and then finally Kent Nelson, aka Dr. Fate. Kent gets a vision from the Helmet of Fate showing him the events that will ensue throughout the movie. However, we will learn more on this later on. The team then enters a ship made out of nth metal, and this is a type of mineral that is natural to the planet Thanagar, the home world of Hawkman in the comics. Back in Kahndaq, we go to the home of Adriana, where they took Black Adam. We find him in Eamon's bedroom, where he has a bunch of posters on the walls related to various DC heroes, such as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Eamon rambles a bit and wonders if it is Black Adam's suit or skin that stops bullets, and if he is as fast as the Flash. The first of which reminds me of a scene in Shazam, where Freddy wonders the same thing about Billy.
Wait, we still don't know if the suit is bulletproof or if you are. Shoot him in the face.
Shoot me in the face! In the face?
And the second obviously referencing Flash from the Justice League movie, an upcoming solo Flash film. Adriana reads an inscription on the crown that says, "Life is the only path to death." However, later on she will find out that this interpretation is incorrect. After walking through a wall, Black Adam has a Western style standoff with a character on the TV, and ends up destroying the TV. Once again, breaking through a wall, Black Adam gets out of the apartment and Eamon uses a hidden chute in his room to catch up with him. The chute will play a bit of a role later on in the film, so just keep it in the back of your mind for now. Eamon attempts to convince Black Adam to stay by selling him on the idea of being a superhero, which includes having a catchphrase, merchandise, and other stuff. However, regardless, he still leaves. The Justice Society talk about their plan to get Black Adam to say the word Shazam, and this will obviously depower him, similarly to how it does to Shazam. Eamon steals an intergang soldier's walkie-talkie, and as a result is attacked, but Adriana steps in to stop the attack. However, in doing so, the soldiers realize who she is and attempt to detain her. However, Black Adam shows up just in time to save them both. There is a moment here that mimics that of a Western-style standoff, influenced by the earlier scene where Black Adam saw this on the TV. The Justice Society then arrive in Kahndaq and attempt to subdue him. However, once he drops a couple intergang agents, Hawkman dives after them to save them, something which the citizens of Kahndaq do not approve of, as intergang has been oppressing them for a while now. Dr. Fate makes Black Adam see Kahndaq as it looked in 2600 BC, a time that he would remember. This is a distraction in order to buy Hawkman the time he needs to attack. A huge fight then commences between Black Adam and the Justice Society. Cyclone joins the fight. This is the first time we get to see her powers in the film, and I must say, this is probably my favourite visual effect in the entire movie. The way in which the VFX team made this is absolutely amazing. Fate saves Adriana and Eamon from the crossfire in their fight, and in doing so realizes that she has the crown of Sabac. Fate then duplicates himself in order to hold Black Adam, a scene that reminds me of Doctor Strange in Infinity War, but it's also just a really common thing to do in comic book movies, so I don't think it's a direct rip-off of that. Black Adam loses control of his powers, which makes a massive explosion, sending Cyclone, Dr. Fate and Hawkman flying back. However, Atom Smasher then joins the fight, containing Black Adam under his hand, after growing to the size of a 6-story building. However, this only lasts for a while, as Black Adam is able to break free and knock out Atom Smasher. He gets cheers from the citizens of Kahndaq, but then he flies away. Dr. Fate tries to get the crown of Sabac from Adriana, who in their conversation criticizes them for not doing anything in the past when Intergang first invaded their country. The way she talks here indicates that she has known about the Justice Society for a while, which makes sense since they are an older team of heroes, however still a bit odd considering they have never been mentioned before in the DCEU, although this is probably just to them deciding to include them later on. The Justice Society then go talk to Black Adam with Adriana as a mediator between them. She questions him about the legitimacy of his actions in the past, where people believed him to be a hero who defeated the Old King in battle. However, in reality, his rage caused him to lose control of his powers, almost destroying Kahndaq, making the Council of Wizards deeming him unworthy, and therefore imprisoning him. In the process of this, it appears as though all but one of the wizards were killed, which makes sense chronologically, as in Shazam, only one wizard was present. We then cut to Eamon, who gets back to their apartment where Ishmael now is. However, now his true intentions are revealed when he draws a gun on him, making Eamon give the crown. Kareem, who is also there, attacks Ishmael, giving Eamon the chance to run away with the crown. However, he does get shot as a result, but don't worry, he survives. Eamon uses the chute from earlier on to escape. Back with the Justice Society, they ask Black Adam to surrender. However, their conversation is cut short when Amon tells his mother that he is in trouble. Adriana convinces Black Adam to go help him, however Ishmael is still able to escape with Amon. The Justice Society then help heal Kareem, and Maxine shares her origin story with Al, saying that a messed up scientist injected nanobots into her bloodstream when she was 15, and due to that she got her aerokinesis powers, which is what she calls her wind manipulation abilities. This origin is consistent with that of the comics, where supervillain Tio Morrow injected those nanobots into her, which leads to the possibility of Morrow being canon to the DCEU now. Black Adam interrogates some Intergang soldiers that they take prisoner, finding out that they took Amon to a mine in the desert. Black Adam and Hawkman get into another fight over their differing ideas of what it means to be a hero. In the process, they end up finding the crown of Sabac, which Amon stashed inside the apartment. Hawkman makes a threat to Black Adam that they were planning to bury him in the ocean once this is all over, which references the prison they are going to hold him in a little later on, but I'll explain that more then. The Justice Society and Black Adam agree on a temporary truce in order to rescue Amon. We learn that in Dr. Fate's vision from earlier, someone dies in the near future, which in this scene we are led to believe is Hawkman, but that'll be confirmed later on. Once arriving at the mine, Black Adam rampages through all the Intergang soldiers and finds Amon, who is being held by Ishmael behind an Eternium force field, meaning that no one can get through. Adriana gives Ishmael the crown to save her son's life. Then with the crown in hand, he says, "Death is the only path to life," which is the actual inscription on the crown. We learn more on what that means in a little while longer. Ishmael deactivates the force field and shoots a bullet towards Amon, forcing Black Adam to put himself between it. Now full of rage, Black Adam loses control of his powers once again, forcing the JSA to protect themselves along with Adriana and Amon, taking their attention away from Ishmael, who places the crown on his head. A massive explosion occurs, hurting Amon in the process. The Justice Society then find the crown that is accompanied by Ishmael's corpse. Hawkman goes to talk to Black Adam, questioning about who Harut is, a name that Ishmael said before he died. Black Adam then explains his true origin, that Harut was the original champion of Kahndaq and his son. But then when Harut's father, that being Teth Adam, was hurt and dying, he transferred his powers, which left him vulnerable to attack, where he would then die. After reminding himself of this tragic past, Black Adam depowers himself by saying Shazam, which allows Hawkman and the rest of the Justice Society to take him to a Task Force X black site, where he would be held prisoner. This black site is in the Snowy Mountains, under a small body of water. Amelia Harcourt greets the Justice Society, taking Black Adam to containment. And if you don't know who Harcourt is, she first appeared in the Suicide Squad, but then appeared much more prominently in Peacemaker. She is an Argus agent who as such works for Amanda Waller. She says that humans always end up burying gods, referencing when Superman died in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and possibly a nod to Ares' death in the first Wonder Woman film, although that's kind of before her time, so who knows. Inside the black site, there are what appear to be hundreds of other containment fields of varying shapes and sizes. I would normally attempt to figure out who's in each of these, but as of recording there is no high quality version of this movie to rewatch. But once there is, I will try to go into as much depth as I can, and if there is anything prominent there, I will make another video on that. Ishmael's corpse appears to be burning, and Kent gets a vision of events still to occur, indicating that the conflicts are not over. Kent explains that Carter dies in his vision, but that the world needs the Justice Society, and by extension Carter as their leader. Adriana, with the help of Cyclone, realizes that the actual inscription on the crown is "Death is the only path to life," realizing that Ishmael planned for Black Adam to kill him, knowing it would send him to the Rock of Finality, where he gets powers in a similar fashion to how the wizards granted Black Adam his, but instead of saying the word Shazam, he says Sabac. The Justice Society then see that Sabac has been summoned and attempt to subdue him. However, he rips apart their previously thought indestructible jet with very little effort. They then combine their powers to hold him back, trying to stop Sabac from getting to the throne of Kandar, where if he sits on it, it will unleash hell on Earth. Hawkman's nth metal mace turns into an axe, and this ends up wounding Sabac. However, it is not quite enough to stop him. Dr. Fate tells Hawkman that this is the moment from his vision where he saw him die. However, Fate constructs a barrier so that Carter cannot follow, sacrificing himself for his friend to live. Fate goes head to head against Sabac, trying to prevent him from reaching the throne, knowing it's a doomed effort. However, his true intention is to distract him while he wakes Black Adam from his stasis, as he is the only one that could defeat Sabac. At the Black site, Black Adam is met by the guards, but fights them off even without his powers. He gets shot multiple times, but does end up escaping. Sabac knocks out Dr. Fate, which lowers his force field, allowing Carter to follow inside. However, before he can get to them, Sabac reaches the throne, and upon sitting on it, rips a hole through the sky, which unleashes hell on Earth. Adriana and Eamon are then attacked by a horde of zombies. However, Kareem comes in with the save, running them all over in the van. Amon runs off to get them more help, while Adriana and Kareem fight as best they can. Black Adam, currently unconscious, has a vision of his family. His son tells him to get back up and fight for the freedom of Kandar, so he listens and says Shazam, giving back his powers. Sabac knocks down the statue of Harut, which Black Adam comes back in time to catch it, saving a whole bunch of lives in the process. He then goes to fight Sabac, each of them trading punches, with Sabac gaining the upper hand. Eamon returns to his mother with reinforcements, giving them a fighting chance against the hordes of zombies. Hawkman steps in to help Black Adam, but appears to get stabbed through the heart. However, this is only a duplicate of him, made through the Helmet of Fate, which he holds in his hand. This mimics the abilities shown by Dr. Fate earlier on in the film. Hawkman's many duplicates hold down Sabac to the throne, allowing Black Adam to grab him from behind. He begins to lose control of his powers once again, but Hawkman tells him to control it, which he attempts with success. Black Adam then uses this control to rip Sabac directly in half, which makes the zombies disappear, saving the people of Kandar. The Helmet of Fate then disappears from Carter's hands, probably off to go find its next user or returning to the Lords of Order. Hawkman, along with the rest of the Justice Society, leave Black Adam, giving him a second chance to prove himself. Black Adam receives cheers from the citizens of Kandar, and Adriana suggests he lead them, but he decides against it because of what his son said in his vision, that Kandar should be free, so he destroys the throne so that no one may hold it over him again. He agrees to be Kandar's protector, and renames himself, as he believes Teth Adam to be an old name, something which Amon said at the start of the film. Adriana asks what to call him, but then the movie finishes, cutting to a title card that says Black Adam, alluding to his choice of name. Now there is a mid-credit scene, so there's still a bit to cover, so let's quickly take a dive into that. A drone appears to Black Adam with a holographic projection of Amanda Waller, allowing them to communicate. She refers to him as Black Adam, which is the first time we hear that name in this movie. Waller tells him to stay in Kandar or she will take action against him, making it a prison of sorts. She then threatens that if he does not listen, he will regret it. However, he responds by saying that no one on the planet could stop him, and Waller's response to that is that she will send someone not from this planet, to which he responds saying, "Send them all." Then we can see someone fly down from the sky, hidden by the smoke left by the destruction of the drone. And out of the smoke steps Henry Cavill's Superman, saying that the two of them should talk. And this cameo marks Cavill's return to the DCEU after almost 5 years since the Justice League film. Unless you count Zack Snyder's Justice League, which makes it a little over a year, but it's still unsure whether or not it's canon. Hopefully this cameo means that he will be appearing in more movies in the near future, possibly returning for a Man of Steel sequel. However, don't expect this in the next year or two, as there are still multiple films that have already filmed and are now in post-production that still need to be released. However, hopefully in 2022 or 2025, we get to see this come to fruition. But anyway, that is everything from this film, so I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. And be sure to check out my Twitter account for the latest news on everything DC and more. But until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing ya.